assembled. The mechanism is very simple. It's just got a gearbox under here to drive the agitator, and then a shaft that goes up here to run the wringer. The wringer is detachable. I detached it so I could lay it down easier without it coming off. Here's a new power cord. I just got a extension cord and cut the other end off of it and left it long enough to use as an extension cord by itself. Now just use this longer cord as the new power cord on the Maytag. Here's the motor. It just affixes here to this little bracket with 2 bolts, and you can move it like the alternator on a car to get the proper tension on the drive belt. The belt is kind of in bad shape. I probably want to eventually replace it. Just to give it a test, I'll go ahead and use it. First thing I need to do is to put on the new power cord. Okay, I've got the motor rewired. I had to use wire nuts on this because it had these spade terminals. It seems like usually these kind of motors have nuts on them to put the wires onto the terminals. I'll probably try and solder these and use heat shrink tubing eventually, so it's got a really corrosion-proof connection in there. But I didn't have the soldering iron here at home now, so just for test purposes I have to use wire nuts. Okay, now it's time to test out the motor. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be okay. Got a little bit of pitting on the plug there, just from the spark at the turn-on surge, but these machines never have power switches. You just plug it in to turn it on, so I guess there's nothing you can do about that. We'll put the motor or terminal shroud back on and get it installed back up in there. We should be able to test out the machine performance. The motor's now reinstalled in the machine, so I'm going to turn it over and see how the agitator's working. The motor's now running, so I'm going to pull out the agitator control and test the agitator. Looks like the agitator's working okay. This shaft here is turning for the wringer, so I'll put the wringer back on and test it too. The wringer looks like it's working too. I've got the agitator turned off now, but the motor's running. I'm going to turn it towards me to activate the wringer toward the machine tub. The center position is stopped, but locked the wringer in place. Then the away position runs the wringer away from the tub. Then when you turn it all the way out, this unlocks the wringer so you can move it like over your wash tub or wherever you need to move it to. I'm going to go ahead and lock it in place here. I'm going to see if I can fill up the machine and actually test it with some water. Now ready to test the machine. Got some water in it. Put in some HEB Bravo laundry detergent. I'm not going to put anything real good in here at first because it's still a little dirty. We'll just wash some curtains here to demonstrate it. And turn on the agitator. Getting a little bit of noise from the mechanism. I'd like to put some fresh oil or grease in it, but I'm not sure how to go about putting the grease in it. If anybody has any recommendations, I'd be glad to hear them. I'll let this wash for a little bit and then demonstrate the wringer. going to stop the agitator, and I'll put the camera on the tripod and demonstrate the wringer. I've got a basket down on the other end there to catch them. Now ideally I need to have a wash tub with rinse water in it down there. But I have to just rinse them in the machine this time, so I don't have another tub ready. Make sure we get the end of it here. That tangled up. Now I'm not sure about this feature here, this press to release feature. I don't know if the mechanism is jammed or what, but it seems to ring okay, but I can't seem to get this mechanism to do anything. Turn the wringer off. Now I've got the curtains in for a rinse. I know that when my grandma would wash the clothes in the wringer washer, she would just wring out the soapy clothes into a wash tub and just swish them around in the wash tub to rinse them. But since I don't have a tub set up, I'm going to go ahead and rinse them right in the machine itself. Now to drain this machine, it doesn't have a pump, so you just have to release the hose and just let the water drain out. It doesn't have the proper end for the hose. I found this piece of wire from an old computer monitor or something in the van and used it. Just release the hose and it drains out.